All right, guys, we moved over here to the DoAll mill. We're going to start getting all of our bores finished out on the Fairbanks Power Hammer Cross head here. And what we got to do is we got to bore down through these ears here. We got inline holes there. These are going to be finished at 7/8. We're actually going to bore these larger, probably 1 1/8, because we're going to install some bushings. That's what Eric had requested, was putting some bushings in here so that they are so that these holes are repairable. Press the bushing out, buy a new bushing, press it in there, and bring it back to size whenever that time comes. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just verifying the angle plate, that I have it nice and true, straight in line here, which we are, so that we know that whenever we do our offsets from the angle plate, all of our hole pattern is nice and square and symmetrical. All right, so as I said, our holes are going to be 7/8. They're going to be 4 inches center to center here. And what I'm going to do is locate off of the edge of the angle plate here to the center of the ears. So I've already done my math. I've already got everything wrote down right there. But we already know that this distance right up in here is 9/16. And then I was measuring the thickness of this section right here is actually 2 5/16. So half of that plus 9/16 is 1.718, or 1 23/32 from this edge to the center of the holes. And then we will just find the center of it this way, and then we'll step off 2 inches each direction there. We're centered this way, and I centered up on this log right there, and I'm just checking to see how centered the casting is with the center point there, just using my scale to the absolute end of the radius there. So that's 3 1/8 inch right there, and we flip it around and we're at 3 1/8 inch there. So it's in the center of this casting right there. So now we just zero out our x-axis, and I will just go 2 inches to each side of 0 there. So the plan here is we're gonna spot our holes on the top side here. All right, we're 2 inches offset, just using a spotting drill. All right, we're gonna go ahead and spot the other side. Move down 4 inches. I usually like to visually verify it with the scale. 4 inches. So my plan is to go ahead and we'll drill it 1/2 inch all the way through. All right, so once we get the top side drilled, I've got this long center drill, it's 1/2 inch shank. So I'll use that, and we'll go down through this hole. It'll kind of serve as a pilot, and then we'll spot the bottom, since this is sort of, still rough cast. We'll go ahead and get a little pilot center down in there for our drill to follow. We've got our 1/2 inch center drill in there now. Come down and just take our time. Make sure it can find its own natural center without being pushed off. All right, I think that was the, I think I put the wrong end in there. One of these was burned up, so I must have, I think that side is the one that got burned up, and this is that's the good side. So let's redo that. Definitely don't want to burn up a hole you're trying to drill. Got to bring the knee up some. It was too low. Okay. All right, right, there's our first center. We'll go ahead and get our 1/2 inch hole all the way through there. All right, there we go. One side down. I mean, we're not done drilling. We got to go to a bigger hole, but we'll go ahead and get the other side drilled now, and then we'll go to our larger drill. Light pressure, letting the center kind of establish itself before pushing down. We're going to use this 1 1/16" taper sink drill to get our hole up to size. This is a good drill. Looks like the last time I used it I put a fresh grind on it, so it doesn't need to be touched up. A number 3 Morse taper adapter here for the R8 spindle. Already got this tightened up, so I got just enough room. We got the knee all the way down as low as it'll go. So we'll use this to get the hole opened up. And what I may do, I was thinking about reaming it, but I don't think my reamer will actually fit in there. What we may do is set up a boring head and maybe just bore it to 1 1/8". Let's go ahead and get our hole drilled though. Want to double check that it's not cutting oversize over our finish, which would be 1 1/8". So it is cutting a little over, about, looks like about 8 thousandths over, but that's okay. Got enough there to bore. to make sure this parallel is not, it's not going to hit the parallel. Move it over just a touch. I wanted to show you guys my boring bar, or my boring head and setup here. I've shown this quite a few times over the years on my channel, and usually when I do, I have people ask me about this boring head. And the truth is, I don't know the maker of this boring head. This did belong to my dad. This is one that he used for many years. My granddad used it, and it's a very well made boring bar, or I'm sorry, boring head, and it accepts 3/4 inch bars, and it also accepts a 1/2 inch square tool bit that comes down at an angle. So you can use it both ways. You can use it as a fly cutter, or in some cases when you're boring a large hole, you don't need the bar. You can actually just use a tool bit. I've got tool bits ground, so you can stick a tool bit out from one side there and bore large holes with this as well. The only downfall, or the only problem I have with this boring head, is that it actually takes 4 different Allen wrenches to run it, or to use it. You know, so you've got one size for your locking set screw there. You've got one size to adjust it. You've got one size that tightens up your boring bar, and then you've got the boring bar itself here that's got even a smaller Allen wrench. So I have to have 4 Allen wrenches in order to use this setup right there. But once you get moving on it, it actually only takes 2. You got that one right there that locks it, and then you got the 5/16, which actually moves it. I've been over here adjusting the gib on it, nice and snug. You got 2 gib adjustments on it. It's got a little gib in there, so it's adjustable. So the boring bar itself, this is one that we're going to be using, and this is a good one here because it's the perfect length for that piece that we're going to be boring over there. So we got plenty of room to get it between our ears that we got to machine. And I've got a couple other, these are some other old boring bars. These are the ones that you typically see me use whenever I'm using this boring head there. And I oftentimes use high speed. That's my chamfering tool, so we'll probably use that, take it out of that bar. And then this is the other one, just used for you know, for boring, just like a turning tool, but it's a high-speed steel 1/4 inch tool bit. I think this is like an old Williams or an Armstrong bar that was cut off to be able to use in this boring head, just like that. So we are probably going to go ahead and use my Micro 100 tool bit. I will have to cut the shank off so that it'll fit down in the 1/16 hole we got. And we'll try this out right there. And if it's, well, hopefully it'll work out. I can always go back to my high speed, nice sharp grind on it if I'm getting any kind of chatter with the long stick out right there. And the grooves on there, I'm assuming that whoever manufactured this, they put these grooves in there on purpose. They're 1/4 inch increments is what they are, so maybe you can use it as a visual reference. I've never really used it as that. It's always just a visual reference for me, just to know that, hey, that's that good 3/4 inch bar out of the, you know, grab it out of the toolbox. But it was marked, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 inches right there, and it must have been double-ended because it's got the grooves down here too. But Dad must have cut it off, or somebody did. So anyway, there's the boring head that we're going to use. Don't know who made it, but they did a good job making it though. This is an 1 1/8 or 1.125 setting ring. Just a standard that you can check your tools against. So We're going to use this Tessa bore mic right here. It's also known as a tri mic. This is for 1 inch to 1.2 inches. I'll use this to check our bore there. But I want to verify it, make sure that we're on size. This is one that I had recently bought last year. Get around to the side, so it looks like we're dead on it. 1.125. So it's still good to go. All right. So we're going to bore our holes to 1.125. I've actually got some oil impregnated bushings. I ordered those from McMaster Car. They should be here tomorrow. And the OD of those should be 1.127 for a press fit. So we're going to shoot for 1.125 on all 4 holes there. And I've already got the bar and everything set up. Now it might look a little funky there, but that's just the way the bar is. It's got it's a bent bar. I've got it touched off. It's just barely rubbing right there where it's at. So now I'm going to go ahead and offset it. And I measured the hole with calipers. We're at 1 inch 70 thousandths right now. So 30, 40, 50. We got about 55 thousandths to come out of it. All right, touch the board and engage the feed. So I'm running slow, 135 RPM, 3,000 feed rate on the quill here. And should help reduce any kind of chatter. You're going to expect a little bit of chatter with those long bars like that, but if you reduce your speed and take your time, it's not going to scream at you. If you spin the guts out of the board head, it's just going to be yelling at you the whole time. All right, we're down to the bottom now. Touch the tool and engage it. Just enough clearance to get through there and disengage the feed. That first pass was 30 thousandths after I touched off there, so I was hoping that that would put us right around the 1.1 size range. And I've just got the bar moved over. We are set up in line on with our digital readout. Just be able to go right back to it. So get in there and see what we're reading. That thing is upside down, but there we go. Try not to disturb it. It looks like I was 3 thousandths under that 1.1 mark. So we got 25, 26, 27, and 28. We got 28 thousandths to bring it to size. I plan on sneaking up on it. I don't want to take it all at one time. The bottom one was wanting to chatter a little bit more. The top one didn't chatter really at all. The bottom one did. I don't know if it has to do with the casting or what. It shouldn't have changed, but we'll probably split this into 2 cuts. I'm just getting the reading on the bottom one too. What we'll have to do is read it right up here. So yeah, I'm getting the same reading. So we're 3 under the 1.1 marker, under the 0. All right, so we'll cut nice and straight and on size both holes there. So each line on it is 1 thousandths, equal to 1 thousandths there. I've just taken 7. We're going to do a total of 14. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 right there. So that should be half of what we wanted. We want to take 28 total, so it should be half. right, that was our second pass. We're going to take a measurement for our final. Let's see where we're at now. Let's see if we've got 14 thousandths to come out of it, because that would have been the splitting it in half there. Looks like we hit it 14 and maybe 2/10 or 4/10. So let's just call it 14 and a half. Let's do it. Let's measure that again. Let's see. That time I got 2/10. 4, 5 and 5, it'd be, yeah, it's 14. So we'll take another 14 thousandths, and then we're going to let that be the size. Got to make sure that I count this right. I'm watching the line that we're on now. Come on, get in there. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, right there. We should be right on the nose on our finish. That was our finish cut right there. Let's see where I finished them out at. All right, judging from what I'm seeing right here, it looks like I'm 1/1000th under my target. So we're at 124. So I missed it by 1/1000th, but at least I'm under that. Let's try it one more time here. So yeah, 1 thou under, but that's okay. What I can do is once I'm finished with this, we can use the the air grinder with a flap on it and go in there and just flap that, and it'll probably take that 1/1000ths out once you start knocking those high spots down. Let me check the bottom hole there and see where we finished that one out at. Making sure that it's nice and square. And looks like we're about the same thing on that one, maybe a couple more tenths additional, smaller. So it looked like maybe 1.5 thousandths on the bottom, probably that chatter continuing to push off. All right, so we'll flap these to size. Hopefully we can get these one right on the mark that we want to do. So I'm not going to keep boring you with the same old stuff. I might give you a couple highlights with one camera, but I'm going to go ahead and get this side bored to size now. I'm making nice progress on the left side holes here. Just taking a measurement with the bore mic there. It's saying that I've got 14 thousandths to come out of both holes there. So getting ready to make one more pass with the bar, and hopefully these guys will be finished up. All right, right, the boring is finished up, and this side right here I was able to hit my mark of 1.125. We are right on it, so a little bit better results for that side there. That one will have to do a little bit of flapping and try to get that last dowel out of there. So other than our chamfers that we've got to work on, the boring here is complete, and we can go on to our next setup, which is going to be this. This is going to be our last feature, which will be a drilled counterboard. The other side's drilled and tapped for the bolt. How about we hit a couple nice machine chamfers here. I'm actually raising the knee up to it. Just want to break the corner a little bit. Just like that. Beautiful. We'll move down and do the same thing down there to another hole. This is the bottom side. I actually flipped it over. I used my test indicator and lined up on the hole. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the bottom side here. I just want to go ahead and match them all and put a nice machined chamfer on there. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and move down and do the other one here. 4 inches.